You're listening to the Board Game Snobs podcast, a ridiculous podcast with ridiculous hosts that discuss ridiculous things. And any mention of board games is purely coincidental. And so, without further ado, and with a heavy dollop of shame and embarrassment on my part, I give you the Board Game Snobs.
Go.
I do declare, this is the Louisiana Rub edition of the Board Game Snobs, coming at you from, where are we at? BGG?
Hyatt Regency, Dallas.
Don't dox us. People
DFW.
come here. People show up.
In the airport.
We're at the airport. We are here with our most southern listener, Mr.
Very south.
Chad Chiasson.
Are we counting South America? Are we not?
We got a lot of
discounting?
fans in Brazil.
Enrique's from Mexico, so.
No, he's not.
No.
His dad's from Mexico.
Someone's from Mexico, but I don't know who's.
No,
all
I thought-
from
Your
Mexico.
father is from Mexico. I know that, right?
I do declare
I thought he was born in Texas.
that
Your
we
father was born in Texas?
I'm pretty sure he was born in Texas, but then again, it's
But his name is
Magdalena.
Magdaleno Zamora.
Yeah, which is funny because it's
Hey, what do you call a Mexican with a rubber toe?
a rubber toe. I don't know.
Roberto.
Oh my goodness!
And this is what we have to deal with, Chad.
I see.
I do declare we do not care about your geography, nor what nation you call your home. But
That's
we were
Jerry's
supposed to be
Cajun
talking. We
accent.
were supposed to be doing accents. I prepped for this.
All right, go ahead.
Oh, I gotta.
Let me hear it.
No, I've been doing it. You
You
ain't
have?
Yeah,
You offend.
More or
you
less.
offend me, sir. I will meet you out by the Piggly Wiggly.
You sound like you're from Georgia.
Maybe I'm going too far east.
That's my problem. Trying to do a Southern accent.
Uh-huh.
I start doing Georgian accent, and I think I watch too much Office.
Foghorn Leghorn?
Yeah.
Oh, is that not?
Boy, I say, boy, chicken hawk. Don't
that-
you take that chicken from me.
Is that not Louisianan? He's ready. Foghorns, Georgian.
You got to do more of a, what's all this here about all this here? It's more of a gravelly,
That's more accurate when you can't understand.
Exactly.
That's now you get more
Water
accurate.
Boy, remember the guy
Oh,
that you could not understand?
Don't worry.
That was pretty accurate.
Don't worry, Chad. We'll do a lot of post work on you so the fans can understand you. Maybe we can do some subtitles. Can you do that? Like do it on the YouTube?
Oh, yeah, we got
There
it.
we go. We got this.
Well, you can turn those
Close, Captain.
subtitles on automatically.
There you
if
go.
you get on YouTube.
You have Louisiana. This here.
What's all this here about a game convention? We're at BGG Spring. We have played several games, have been quite pleasant. Chad and Jerry have played a good 4-hour game of John Company, and we just got through playing Moonrakers. But first, the rubber ducky first appeared in the late 1800s. Shortly after, Charles Goodyear invented vulcanized rubber. Did you know that?
Mm-hmm. Live long
Live long
and burn rubber.
and burn rubber. Surprisingly, the first rubber duckies didn't float. In fact, they were solid, heavy, and intended as chew toys.
Is
Well,
vulcanized
that's what Enrique's always chewing
rubber
on.
having to do with
What's that supposed to mean?
with volcanoes? Like it's the ash from volcanoes. Isn't that because a volcanologist is a volcano? That's what I'm saying. I'm pretty sure that's what that means.
A volcanologist?
Yes.
Not a volcanologist. Volcanologists discover things on Vulcan.
Why don't you get your phone, Enrique? Your job is to produce.
I might as well.
Google that for us.
Then in the 1930s, 2 separate rubber duck bath toys were created, and the association between rubber duckies and bath time was born.
Why?
In 1931, Eleanor Shanahan of Maryland invented a rubber ducky that could emit jets of water from small holes.
I do declare, Shannon, this duck has sprung a leak.
Why was that necessary?
For it to
Just for fun? Just you squeeze it,
It's
put it
fun.
underwater,
That's
let
fun.
it inhale the water, and then push it,
it
out
lets
and
your
squeeze
kids play with something in the bathtub.
it, and squirt each other in the face.
Yes.
yeah.
Well, you don't put both kids in the bathtub. Sometimes you do them one at a time.
Hey,
Yeah,
Me
man.
and my brother used to take baths together when we was
That's
kids.
One
weird.
bunch of
some
weirdos.
parents-
What?
How old were you? 15, 16?
I was 37. What are you talking about? Last time we bathed together. No, I mean when you're kids,
We've got to save water,
I'm about to
youngins.
say, ain't got no time to run a bathtub for 2 separate kids when you're poor in the 1980s.
We got the one boss.
You,
So
you throw them in a swimming pool and just put some dish soap in there and you're good to go. Tell them running around the circle.
little
That's all you
girl.
got to do.
Okay. That was very interesting, though. Look up
Then
the
in
welcome thing.
1938, Disney collaborated with Sieberling Latex Products to create a line of bath floater toys, the most popular of which were Donald and Donna Duck.
Who's Donna? Is that
Donna.
the girl?
That's his old side piece.
Oh.
As a side note, Donna was later renamed Daisy Duck. In
There you go.
1940.
That's what I thought. See, Donald, he's been canceled because they found those old videos where he was a Nazi. Did you watch those?
Yes, I've seen them.
Okay, that's
Oh, this is real.
Yes. It was it was like they were trying to do propaganda, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And it was like trying to make fun of something. So it was like, here's Donald Duck, black and white
How are
cartoon.
you going to cancel a cartoon?
You just cancel it. Do you see Donald anywhere?
Or Pepe. Where is he at?
He wasn't a cartoon.
Pepe Le Pew?
Oh, I thought you were talking about the frog. Le Pew got canceled too.
Le Pew,
He's obviously sexist.
kind of like doesn't know boundaries.
I'd say, yeah, I'm not excusing his behavior, but his boundaries. Speaking of boundaries,
Then in 1947, sculptor Peter Gaynine patented a duck toy made out of vinyl. It was painted bright yellow and included a squeaker, so we're getting closer to the rubber ducky we know today. Featured on some prominent YouTuber board game site.
I knew you was about to do this. I knew you trying to hard merge
like a
into
quack quack. I don't know what they really go into.
Oh, you're subtlety.
Finally, in 1970,
Your subtlety, sir.
Ernie sang the now famous song "Rubber Ducky"
You're the one. You make bath time something fun.
on Sesame Street, which made it all the way to number 11 on the Billboard charts. Okay, in 1970, they clearly didn't have a whole lot to listen to.
All right, right now we need
When
to know.
Ernie,
I need to know.
number song went to number 11 on the charts.
Chad, answer this quickly. Bert or Ernie? Which one? Who do you prefer?
Well, Ernie had a clear, a successful recording.
Yeah,
of it.
Ernie's the little short, dumpy one.
Bert had the little tuft of hair on the top.
That he's always Bert was the one.
Bert was the angry one.
No, I'm going to say no. He was Ernie drove him insane.
Well, Bert was too angry.
This is a hard one, and the reason is my sister always called me Bert because she thought I looked like Bert.
I was just about to make
Roberto.
So I think I have to go with Bert.
I'm pro Bert.
Yep, pro
You're
Bert.
obviously in the Ernie.
I'm in the Ernie camp.
I'm not gonna lie. It almost sounds like
Bert is
I've
so
already
angry.
met these two already. To be all honest,
You're Bert. I'm Ernie.
You don't even watch Sesame Street.
maybe not.
And
But
Bert is kind of
from
taller,
your description,
skinny.
I'm already meeting the two people that you're already
You don't
describing.
even. You never watched Sesame Street.
I don't think he did.
He didn't. You're
No.
too. You're
Enrique,
too-
of the two of us, me and Jerry, who's the angry one?
Jerry, obviously, he's
I-
easily
nobody-
irritated.
Thank you.
Nobody
He's
has
easily
argued this.
irritated.
Thank you.
I could be doing this all day, and he would be.
Why are you making noise on a
See,
podcast?
well, I tell
What are
you,
you doing? Now you're getting on my nerves.
Well, here's the thing. The reason I'm so angry is I make the mistake
angry
of
all the
having
time.
expectations.
You're angry all the time. Though.
I have great expectations. And people, for some reason,
That's what female ducks have when they're squatting on their nest. Expectations.
that was the hardest pun you've ever made, sir.
There's no one does what Board Game Snobs do better. They are almost professional level comedians.
But it was fine. But like, people who have no expectations will put up with things. They'll just whatever. And
At what point do you not, let life burn you down and you just lower your expectations?
I don't know. Where are you at?
Oh, I'm been at the bottom for a good
but
while.
that's not me. That's not Chad either. You can tell Chad's a man.
Chad, he is a man.
Chad is a man of great.
He's wearing a snob shirt, by the way.
Yeah, it's in Japanese.
That's the only reason he's on the podcast right now. He's advertising.
We
for
saw
us.
Chad in the hallway and said, "Hey,
He's our walking billboard, even though it's in Japanese and no one here.
But he's been to Japan. He's advertised for us.
Has anyone from Japan ever stopped you and said, "What is that?"
No.
No.
Why do you have a large armadillo attacking a city?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't say that. Well, that's okay. So see, but Chad has expectations.
To be fair, there's a lot of Japanese people with shirts with words in English that make no sense.
So just
So
like
I
people
felt I was paying
Really?
like a little payback. You
Right,
know,
right.
I'm gonna wear a shirt with some Japanese words, that make no sense to them.
So, like, you know, when people get tattoos and it, like, they think
Yes,
it's Japanese and it's like, says toilet, but it looks cool to Americans because it's written in, you know, the neat Japanese writing. The Japanese have shirts that say, like, toilet in English, but they think it looks cool because it's in English.
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Oh, and maybe because I wore the shirt for 5 minutes because I was embarrassed to wear it around. No, I'm just kidding. I actually did wear it.
See, there you go. Great expectations.
Expectations.
Are you done with your hard merge at
First, I want to discuss Pictionary. Do you know who invented Pictionary?
doesn't come to mind?
Rob Angel.
Chris Angel's brother.
Rob Angel. Rob Angel. Will you be mine? What movie is that off of?
That's off Back to the
Not
Future.
Rob. Very good.
Why do you act that you put over anything on me? You know?
Did you know? I mean, I was singing Rob Angel
It's
instead of
Earth
Earth Angel.
Angel.
Yeah.
Earth Angel.
And then he stands back up, starts playing guitar.
Will you be mine?
Back to the Future is like one of the greatest movies
They
of all
keep
time.
acting like they're going to remake it. and I
They
hope
should
don't.
never remake
They should
it.
never
No.
remake it.
No.
Don't touch it. Leave it alone. Rob Angel.
Well, but you know, if they were to remake it and set it in modern times, he would be going back to 1993.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know, that's so weird. It's so
Backstreet
weird.
Boys with everything.
That's so weird.
All right, who'd do it? Who'd be Marty? I already have an actor.
I know you do, and I know who it is.
Who?
And now that I can't get out of my head, Tom Holland.
I told you this already.
I know. And that's
Okay,
why
Tom
that's
Holland.
good casting. I can't get out of my head.
Who's the old man?
The Doc?
Yep.
Doc Brown?
I had one. I can't remember now, but now I'm working on it. Who would be a good Doc Brown? Peter Capaldi pops in the head.
Ooh, that's a good one.
I'll tell you, I should do casting.
Peter Capaldi is a good
It
one.
would be a good one. He's a good one.
Then you got to have
Biff?
the Michael J. Fox. What was his name of the movie?
Marty. I said,
Why did they make fly? Who's going to be George? Could be somebody
George?
kind of weird.
Oh, George, that's Paul Dano.
No, he doesn't look anything like Tom Holland.
Okay, get Sheldon.
No,
He doesn't have to look like.
No, it's not look like the George McFly had a certain like super weirdness to him,
A super weirdness.
like a weirdness to
Oh,
him.
what's Sarah doing? Michael Sarah?
That would work.
There you go.
Yeah,
That'd work.
I like
That'd
that one.
work.
That would work.
Biff.
Okay,
Biff.
Biff. We got to have a bully.
Several people come to mind.
Howie Long. He's got the same haircut.
Matt Damon?
Matt Damon would be a good like cameo, but tell you, Chris Pratt
Oh.
do it. He needs to spice up his resume a little bit.
But you got to have somebody that go back to the future and go back and they look like they're a high schooler, and he's too old now.
So somebody young. Why don't you do Captain America? He can look young. He grows a mustache.
But he's on the edge there.
Is he getting old?
He's on the edge. He's in his late 30s.
There's just
at
not
least.
many people. I mean, they do that
40s.
de-aging stuff.
That's true.
That Indiana Jones, they de-aged. They're saying that's like the worst movie ever made. Did you have something else to say
That's sad.
before you started?
I was really looking
Before
forward to that, too.
no, I wasn't looking forward to it at all.
Okay, so here's the thing. So after graduating college in 1981, he moved in with some friends in Washington. One night, one of his roommates suggested playing a game he described as charades on paper. It became a popular tradition among the roommates. Angel realized this would be a good board game. So basically, TLDR, okay? Jerry,
I don't know what that means. Please tell me what that means.
Too long, don't read. And then they give you a synopsis.
There's nothing that's TLDR to me.
Too long, don't read, other than me going through here. So Angel basically creates Pictionary. He had some roommates that were going to go in with him, but they kind of backed out. They said no, they're not going to do it.
Dummies.
Angel and his future partner sold Pictionary to Mattel for $29 million. So they missed out.
Yeah, that's sad.
Rob Angel of Pictionary fame.
Okay.
I like Pictionary quite a bit.
I'm glad
Although
you do.
we used to separate into husbands and wives when I would play with me and my friends.
And you didn't have a wife?
Oh, we did that all the time.
Oh, me and my wife
yeah.
cannot play games together because we are so good.
It was
Same.
almost in
Same.
Tear it
divorce.
Anything?
No. 'cause
No,
we'll
we're
fight.
saying-
We'll fight.
Oh, no, me and my
We're
wife
saying-
don't.
no, on opposite teams, husbands against wives, us
Oh,
guys versus the girls,
Oh, no.
and like we would almost all end in divorce. We
Okay,
couldn't do it.
no. Well, first off, me and my wife on team, you do not want to play code names against
Well,
us.
that's why we're not talking about team. We're talking about opposing each
Now,
other.
opposing each other,
what would happen?
Number one, we'd be at each other's. I mean, she
Okay.
could, but we're
That's how
not
it
fighting.
ends.
She just knows. It's a game. She's good at it. We just recently played Deception Murder at Hong Kong, and she can spot you a mile away. She's good. She's not. And if I'm the murderer doing something, she can just look at me and know. Like they just. They,
Oh, yeah.
They know. There's no.
Oh,
reason.
I can't. If anything dealing with bluffing, and my wife's playing against me, it's over. She reads me like a book.
Yeah, see, I mistook you as a quiet, mild spirit until we played John Company, and you pulled the largest defrauding action I have ever seen in a board game, where I sat down, and I should give some context. I betray and backstab everybody. I fight. That's my thing. Every board game, I go hard. That's just how I live.
You're very aggressive.
Street
and
chose
a double
me.
crosser.
I went in and told myself, this game, there's going to be a lot of negotiating. There's going to be a lot of backstabbing. I'm going to be vanilla. I'm just going to learn the game. I'm not going to try. And at the beginning of the game, I did some wheeling and dealing.
Yeah.
And I did steal some shirts off some backs. That's okay.
You know, I had a blackmail card that could have stopped your blackmail card you played on me.
That's very sad.
But you,
Does it
I was so
does it have a rubber
shocked.
duck on it?
I was so shocked that I
Give
forgot
me
all about it.
$7,500. I'm going to tell people about your. That's
About your
exactly.
negative call.
Yeah, there you go. But this game, Chad was the chairman at the beginning of the round, and he did very well with the company. And then the company fell on some mild, hard times. And so we went around where Chad ended up making some very wise decisions, recovering a lot of money for the company, and then all of a sudden playing a card that allowed him to steal, basically just embezzle almost everything from the company and put us on a road to bankruptcy. And then I became the chairman, and I got to be the captain of a sinking ship. And I tried to convince the other 4 players to hang in there and everybody stay with it, and it did not last.
So what is John Company? Is that what is? I don't even know what that means. Is that the name of the company? This is the John Company.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, and I haven't got to read the historical part of it, but like it's multiple. The term John Company comes from. I can't remember if this was a setup for a joke or what was it? Multiple people named John. I couldn't remember. It seemed like there was a.
I think you're remembering your joke that you were trying to set up last time.
I am remembering a joke. Okay, I'm going to go out on a limb and say I don't remember.
Self-referential
No,
joke.
it's bad when you tell a joke and then you think that joke that setup was a fact, and then later you're like, "This is true." It was a porta potty company in the 1800s, but no, there's multiple families, and you play you play basically the family. You have all these various pieces, and you're trying to get your relatives into certain positions in the company. So there's chairman and director of trade and shipping, and eventually governors and the presidencies of certain areas of India, and generals and officers and people who are supporters of them. You're trying to basically negotiate and get your family members into those positions and have those powers. Which is very, and what are you looking at your phone?
I was just saying, it says John Company tells the story of the British East India Company from the inside out.
Right.
Players will steal their dynasties, but y'all are all working for the company.
It's a
which
co-op.
I found it interesting. I thought y'all were going. Well, you are. So it's a co-op, but yet you have your own win conditions.
No.
No, it's one winner. One winner.
It's
all the same win conditions.
So it is this company should survive, and you want it to do good.
So it's a straight up co-op.
No. So it starts off as the first thing that Chad said, "Oh, this is a co-op." And I thought, all right, but you're trying to do the best for your family and the company, and that doesn't run right. A lot of times what's good for you is not good for the company. And so it's very obvious, for instance.
What's good for the duckling isn't good for the gander.
Not necessarily. So in this game, there's a certain win condition if the company survives and is doing well, but there's a different win condition when it finally caps out and Enrique has fallen asleep. So there may be a point in time where you have just inadvertently set things up to where, or on purpose, that tanking the company is in your best interest. And apparently sometimes the company just tanks even though people are trying to keep it afloat. And in this particular case, the company was doing well, I'd say, for at least 3 turns.
Oh, yeah. We did pretty good coming out the gate.
And then because of the way things were taking place, because the whole idea of it is that you're going basically to India, you're trying to set up companies, you're trying to take over, you're trying to do things. And while it's all going on, you're fighting, trying to figure out where your family needs to be in the company. And what are you pointing at? Speak. You have words.
Well, he's pointing. He's trying
You're
to be
talking.
quiet. Okay, no, I will explain. He's trying to be quiet because you're in deep thought about this game. Meanwhile, he wants me to get a water bottle out of this.
Oh, it's fine.
How meta do you got to be? Get the water. Why now? You don't drink water. I tell you all day
What do
long.
you mean don't drink water?
And
You
then
tell me to drink water all the time.
And you decide to drink water, and now Chad's having to get you a water like he's
my
the water boy. This
Oh
is
my-
quality H2O.
Yeah, you get the water for him.
Get the water.
Clean. It's pure.
Oh, thank you, master.
You can't have a young one walking around here dehydrated.
It's a glacier water.
That's a pure water from.
Oh, wait a
Dick,
second.
go ahead,
Wait.
Huh?
Well, y'all setting this up so
No,
y'all can call me Water Boy?
Absolutely not.
Chad's the water boy.
Oh,
Yeah, this is a big setup, and I fell hook, line, and sinker.
Chad, I can't get that water for him. Do you mind?
Oh,
Chad
my.
was on top of it. He dove in
He
there and
dove.
got that like no water boy I've ever seen
I've
before.
never seen. I can't even imagine.
And he was like, y'all didn't hear him off mic, but he was like going, "This hill water? This hill?"
This, not this one. This doesn't look pure.
You keep talking about the win conditions, but I'm concerned about the what and who conditions.
They are almost professional level comedians.
Okay, sometimes your puns are not puns, and nor are they jokes. So in John Company, and Chad, you correct me if I'm wrong, because I've only gotten to play it one time. The game we played was the short 5-round
Yes.
company.
Yeah, it's what they recommend as a beginner. First time you play it, you want to play this.
And there's a part of the game that takes place on the player board, which we really didn't use. It deals with you managing a portion of the company, kind of like an 18XX.
You start your own firm, like
Yeah.
18XX, and you're actually competing not only with John Company, but with other firms that others may make. And you can invest in those firms and make money off what they do.
And we had nothing to do with that in this game. So that little aspect right there could be a game in itself. It's like City of the Big Shoulders type
That's
thing.
it. That's on the other side of the board, right?
That's on the other side of the player board. Like it adds that whole little round into the game. We completely cut that out, the beginner game.
Have you played both?
Yes.
Yes.
Which do you prefer?
I prefer the full version.
Full version?
So
Okay.
I'm playing Sunday. I got a group. We're going to play the full version. We section off 6 hours to try to get
And it
that
was,
done.
and I must say the timing on it for us. I think we got there at 2:00.
Yeah.
Ended at 6:30. Plus, you had to teach it.
It was like at least 30 minutes of kind of going over it.
And the first round was glacially slow because everybody didn't quite understand what was going on. I have never been more engaged with a game, I think.
You came back. We were set up for Planet Unknown. You were like, okay, I'm done with John Company. We're coming back. And we met Bruno at Planet Unknown. And as you got to the table, he said, I think I might have a new number one game.
It was that good. And what it got me about it was the actions that you take are so very, very simple. On your player board, it's put a family member out there or buy this little card for your company, and that's it. And it made perfect sense when we started playing the first round. You're just moving down this little track, and each little track is like, okay, now do this action. Everybody at the table. Now we have, who does the action? Well, who's the chairman? Who has the chairman card? Who has a family member that's the chairman? They make this decision. So it's like, okay, how do you get a chairman? Oh, these people have to vote him in. Who do you have that's a family member? Who has so many family members in there? You vote the chairman in. The chairman appoints this person. So all this stuff is taking place. And as you're figuring out who's doing what, you're giving out these roles. These people are now to determine what they're going to do with these roles. And everybody wants you to grease their palm. This game is so weird because it's like you want to have your person here so that I can control the shipping. I decide where the ships go. Oh, you want me to send ships over here? What are you going to do for me? Well, then this guy over here, he's the guy that gives the monies to fit the ships so that they can be in good condition. Well, I can fit my own ships, or I can fit this guy's ships. What are you going to do for me? And then you got the military, who assigns the generals to go out and fight. Well, who's going to be in charge of the generals? Who's going to roll the dice? Who wants to put their family members as officers because they might get killed? Who wants to do that? Well, people who wants to go to war end up getting loot and being able to pillage and get a bunch of money. So, of course, you want your third cousin twice removed. They'd be put in this area who can control this. And then it goes, well, who's going to be the governor of this land when we take it over? Who's going to tax the people? Who are we going to talk to say, hey, listen, we need to make a... There was a point in the game that I didn't realize even took place. But next thing I know, I got up to go get a piece of chewing gum. And when I sat back down, the guy that sat across from me says, okay. He looked up at me and says, I don't think we should open trade with China for opium. And I go, what?
Drugs are bad.
I said, what? Is that a thing? Can you do that? And one person said, yeah, I got the shipping lanes open. We've got China open. We've got X amount, but it'll cost us these amounts of ships. And it's going to be a problem. And I said, you had me at opium. Do it. Let's make some money. What are we talking about here, people?
I'm the heroine of this story.
Yeah.
But Jason let us down.
He did.
He was
What
the
a loser.
commander.
Let me guess. He don't
He
want
says,
drugs.
look, just take over Bengal, and we'll have more opium to sell.
Now,
And he couldn't get it done.
he didn't get that. Now, I want to point something out. Now, Jason was initially, because when you randomly select roles, you draft for roles at first. And we each had some issues where you can get really embarrassed by, because the way that this game works, and this is the big complaint that everybody has about this game. To me, this is one of the few times I love this type of randomness. So, when you get ready to make a decision or do something, a lot of times you have to roll a dice. And a 1 and a 2 is victory. 3 and a 4, you failed. 5 and 6, you failed so bad, you're dead, or retired, or you're fired. It's one of those things. It's like, no, you're gone. So you can buy dice, and you just need one success. So you can keep buying dice. So you want to have a lot of change. So right off the bat, poor Jason was in charge of the military, and he made some poor decisions. He removed me as a general. He left me behind, and he ended up kind of dropping the ball. I gave him a hard time about that. I then, as the prime minister, because I'm stately, I started off as the prime minister.
Very regal.
I accidentally...
You're wearing purple right now.
Did not know that if you pull a card that's a dilemma, you're basically fired as prime minister. So my first day on the job as prime minister was to pull this card and go, well, I don't want to do this. And they're like, yeah, but you automatically get fired as prime minister. Why? Because it's just a scandal. And then we're sorry, but you're gone. And I got fired as prime minister. So literally my first day was like...
You're like that lady that was hired as prime minister in Britain like 3 months ago, and she lasted 30 days?
That's basically what happened. And I got ousted. So... that happens, and it's very funny when you have somebody doing a job and they're trying to roll dice and they end up doing something that get critically fired. But the whole point of this game is very simple. You want your family to get old and retire, and then when they retire, you have to push them off to the nursing home. This game could be AARP, the board game, because the way that you get your points in this game, and it blew my mind.
It's a victory points thing.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, but this is one of the ways that you get victory points, is that you want to be able to put Aunt Margie into the best nursing home possible. Mm-hmm. And there's 4 or 5 of them. One costs a lot of money. You have to pay a lot of money to put them there and a lot of money to upkeep them. But it's nice. It doesn't smell like urine, like at the one that used to be a Ramada that was renovated. That's nothing. Mm-hmm. And you get more points, but you have to produce so much money. So basically what ends up happening is you end up putting grandma into the nice one, but it's 4 pounds every round. And now you find yourself having to blackmail the guy who's over shipping because the opium's going to China. You need some money to pay for Margie's nursing home care, and you're a bad person. And before you know it, you break bad. And next thing you know, you're blackmailing the chairman. I'm sorry, so that to get rid of him, so that you could go. And maybe you're end up being the governor of Bombay, and maybe you tax people until there's a riot. And maybe you don't know that. Maybe that gets people killed. But Margie deserves the best care possible.
So when you have all these actions, you said you have one action.
You just go down this thing, and whoever is in that position gets to make those decisions. And so sometimes you don't make any decisions.
So is there a list of decisions you can make?
Very simple. Mm-hmm. It's
Question, does it have a player aid?
Excellent player aid. Okay. Beautiful. Matter of fact, the player aid is your board. And you're literally just going, okay, all right, pick an action. Well, I want to put one of my family members over here as a writer. And a writer's like the person who's backing them up. Like they're a person who's in the company doing something. Well, I want to put them over here. Okay, do that. Oh, I want to buy a ship. when you buy these little shipyards, and those shipyards are like, hey, I have my ship, you can use it and I get money. Or you can buy factories, which if the company bottoms out, these are protection against you. So people start buying factories like, why do you have so many sweatshops? What are you doing, BJ? What are you doing?
Okay.
Which we played with the board game. Was that Board Game Gumbo? Is that
Yeah, Board Game Gumbo.
Not to shout them out. They have a YouTube channel. If
So
he'll pay me $75, I'll come on his show. Is that BJ?
So yeah, BJ.
go
Board
ahead,
game.
Chad.
Board Game Gumbo.
So another thing what's really nice about this game is when you hold an
I'll
office.
translate. Another thing that's really nice is
This here. This right here.
So when you have this here office, you get this here card. And this here card tells you what you got to do. And so that's what makes the game so nice is, all right, so I'm the chairman. What I got to do? Oh, I have a chairman card, and it tells me what I got to do. The flip side you use when it's vacated. It tells you how do you get a new chairman. All the steps. The master trade, same thing. It's open. How do we get a new one? It tells you who picks it, where they pick it from. So once you get the gist of the game, it flows so easy. It's all right there. It reminds you what to do.
So why does the rule book say
Have like a 4.4
Yeah.
on BGG, and the rule book says get a cup of coffee and
Right.
enjoy the next few hours of your life trying to learn this game? It is because this has what Robinson Crusoe kind of does. So Robinson Crusoe, the board game, I can play that game with anybody because you don't have to know how all the mechanisms work. I can make it flow because I've played this game so many times. Super complicated. But I can go, okay, you need to make this decision, A or B. And they go, well, I want to do this. Okay, well, when they do that, they don't have to know how many dice you roll or this or this or this. I can do that for them. They don't need any knowledge. It's like I'm GM in the game for them. In John's company, it is so super complicated. When I sat down and you have somebody over there flipping through a printout that's got stuff highlighted, and he hands me a 4-page handout that's front and back and says, so this is the algorithm. And I'm like, oh, so I'm sitting here flipping through this. I don't have to know that because somebody else there already knows it. So when it gets time to do India and you're over here moving pieces around, they're like, okay, roll this dice and we'll see what the weather does. And if ships get destroyed or if armies move around or people revolt, that is the 4 in the 4.5 that's on BGG. If you don't need to know that, if you could sit down right now, spread this game out, and y'all could play this game, just muddle through it, as long as you've got somebody else who knows how to do the mechanisms. The other thing that makes it complicated, it doesn't make sense how anything works until you have played it, and then you're going, oh, so that's why you would do this thing. This is what you need. This is what happens. And you hear people who have played it before having commentary going, we've got too many riders. Everybody keeps putting their families out here. We have way too much of this. I'm like, well, why wouldn't you do that? Well, because then you're moving people around. And so you don't, it doesn't really make sense until you have seen this. This is probably one of the most intricate games I've ever seen. It truly in the way that it works, because it should not work. You are literally have pieces that are your family that are representing generations of years and years of family members that you're putting out, trying to get them and negotiate into various positions, from generals and officers in the army to chairman of the board to managing shipping to governors to setting up trade routes to owning companies to managing these things. You're doing all that by simply going, one action, I'll put this person here, and then you just go down the list. And okay, chairman, do your action. And they get to decide these things. And if your family member happens to be the chairman, it's on you. And if it's not, then you're bribing that person. So the interaction's amazing. So you have everybody at the table going, I'll give you this much money if you do this. Why? I need you to do it. I need you to make sure that my person here is in this spot. And then the blackmail cards are so wonderful. One of my favorite little mechanisms in that game, Rex, that nobody plays anymore. It was a remake of Dune, where you have those trader cards. So when the game gets set up, you get a trader card, and it's a trader, some random general that somebody might play. And if they fight you and you have that trader card, for that particular general, it's over. You automatically win. It doesn't matter how odds are stacked against you. So that threat is always there in that game. This game has blackmail cards, and they have deals that you can make. So I can give you this card that says, look, I don't mind nepotism. So anytime that I have to appoint somebody to a position, I can't put my relative in it. I have to use, because it's nepotism. But if you give me your card that says, hey, I don't mind nepotism, when it comes time where obviously you would be in that position, I can say, I got your card. You said that I'd be all right with this, and I'm calling in a favor. And then my guy gets put in. Money, things of that nature, all these various agreements. And then there's just straight up blackmail cards that say, look, if the chairman tries to do this, you have dirt on them and you could stop them. And those are wonderful because they come out of nowhere and they're hard to get. And when you get them, people don't play them a lot of times because you don't know what they do. They might be useless or not even applicable to the game at that time, but somebody has them. And so every move you make, you're wondering, does this guy have something that can make it? And they could tell you, hey, I'll give you this blackmail card if you'll do this. Well, what is it? Well, I can't tell you, but just do it. It's just the game comes from the players interacting.
Jerry is very passionate.
I'm very passionate about this game. I'm very proud of that. I own this game, and I'm like, Are
you ready to be the GM?
Oh, not yet. No, I'm gonna go home and read. I'm empowered now. I now have.
Yeah. Now you can tackle the events in India.
Yes.
You can get into it.
Yes.
Use the player aids, and you got a little understanding.
Yes, that whole thing is. So yeah, I'm pretty sure I can sit you down, you and Enrique, and go and Bubba, and get everybody and say, look, these are the simple decisions that you've got to make, and I'll run the rest. But you're in charge of this family. You're trying to do what's right for your family and get them in positions. That's all you need to know. It's it. Somebody on Facebook asked, is it like an experience? Like he says, that's what people call it. I would equate this to like TI4 level experience to me. Like this gave me, when we left there, I was thinking about the feeling in terms of what it was like. First off, the production on this game is insane.
Yes.
It rivals PAX Premier 2nd Edition in terms of its beauty, its quality. It should not look this good. They poured way too much effort into this. This is way too good. But the experience I got from this, it felt like a mega game in a way. It felt like this was like a Den of Wolves type thing where we had been up talking and around the table and things were happening. So very, very interesting game. So yeah, John Company is we gotta crank. You may hate it.
No, I mean, it sounds, I like that type of stuff, but as long as someone's just there to tell me like, okay, now you can do this action.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll do the action now.
The first time you play, the first round is scary.
Yeah.
Because you're trying to like, well, wait, they're trading this, they're trading that. Why?
Yeah.
I got this, but I don't know what it does.
And then everyone's smiling
but
at
it takes
you.
one round.
Yeah.
You go through the whole motions and it's like it all clicks, falls in place. Second round, you're ready to go.
Yeah.
Do you think like there's a good player count for it? There's a maximum people?
I think max is good.
So I've played with 4 and I've played with 6 and I played solo. 6, I like 6 the best because it's a little more chaos. 4, you've got a little more control because you've got your hands and a little bit more of it. When 6, you're really depending on working with other people. So to me, 6, and it doesn't add any more length to the game.
It's the wild card.
Yep.
It literally is. You want 6 people the game is not on the board. The game is the people. And what happened was when Chad went all Bernie Madoff or whoever that was, it completely he gutted the company in a move that brought a tear to my eye because I decided I was going to be nice this game and play very vanilla and just be not fighty, and to see him recover the company and then gut it. And there's other 4 people at the table going, from now on, we're just going to call that the Chad card because that was insane. Like, you just don't do that. They all started losing faith in the company. Well, I became the chairman, and I'm like,
and you had to go first.
We're going to make this company, we're going to make it work. We're going to do it.
We're going to make it great again.
We're going to do it. And everybody was like, yeah. And then I was like, so tell me what we're going to do. We're going to do this, and we're going to go to Bingle, and I'm like planning. And then everyone goes, yeah. And then one guy says, I'm going to buy a company, a warehouse thing, a little thing, a workshop, just in case things go bad. Because that gives him victory points if the company goes down. And then somebody says, well, yeah, we really need to invest in the company, though.
They were looking for options.
Somebody needs to invest, and nobody really did.
They didn't.
You were the only one.
And I'm like, yes. And then everyone's like, And so everyone got lukewarm. And then the debt started piling up. And I'm like, look, we're gonna here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do this. We're gonna tax people. Because so you gotta make some money, spend some money, make some money. We may have to move some ships. We're gonna be all right. And everyone was like, yeah. And the only person that was with me was like BJ. He was like, yeah, we'll do it.
But he had no money.
And then he had
no money to invest
so
in
he
the
was
company.
broke. He was broke. Why is it broke people? They show up and they're like the biggest, yeah. And
They got nothing to lose.
And then everybody else started smiling a lot, saying, yeah, Jerry, you got this. And I realized the people who kept telling me, you got this, were investing in other things. And they were getting out slowly. And then various bad things happened. Like a tsunami or something wiped out a bunch of ships.
Yep.
Jason, he
kept losing.
kept losing.
I'm
not going to call him.
Losing.
I don't know what he was kind of like the, I don't know.
That's your brother, right?
Just friend.
Oh,
Yeah,
Jason's a friend.
he's from Louisiana too.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Gotro. He's got a real Cajun name.
Well, he wasn't getting
So where do you is
wasn't getting
John
it done.
Company like in your top games of all time now?
Oh yeah.
That's
Really?
wonderful.
Yeah. I hate to say number one, but right now,
Right now,
number one.
What would be in competition for it?
Would
Number
be-
one.
I'm a TI4 fan.
Ah, see, there you go. So the experiences.
Yeah.
So you really like
I
the-
like experiences.
You like the experiences.
I know Pandemic Legacy.
Yeah.
Pandemic Vanilla. Ugh.
Yeah.
But Pandemic Legacy because the experience. There's another one. Yokohama.
Oh yeah.
That's probably
That's it.
that would be my top.
I do the
See,
cloud.
those are like completed. Those are like way different games, but yeah.
But no, there's experiences.
That's
yeah.
why I have my little tag
Omni
on my
Gamer.
thing says
So
Omni Gamer.
in terms of experiences, like have you ever played King's Dilemma?
So we started that. I was playing with my family. We had 5 people.
Yep.
I was loving it.
Yep. And
They
then
were kind of
that's the problem.
right.
Is that you get
I
people
was
who don't.
loving it, and then I bought Jaws of the Lion, and that killed them from wanting to play anything
Really?
else. Yeah.
So I have Jaws of Lion. I looked at it one time just because I just want to play with it, and it does look like something I think we'd enjoy. I don't think I'd ever want to do the whole.
We brought Crescent City Cargo for you.
I want to play that.
It made by another Cajun,
I don't
Yeah.
know when we're gonna
another
get
dinger,
a chance.
Jason Dinger.
Yeah, I'm hoping that. So I'm going to the convention in Lafayette in October.
Oh yeah,
I'm hoping to play John Company there, and I'm also hoping to meet Mr. Dinger.
he's going to be there probably.
You think he's gonna be there?
I know he was in there in the past. I went a few years ago. I didn't get to meet him, but he was there.
It's not
He gave us
in the
wood.
dryness, and I don't know something about like I feel like I don't know why I'm relating these two, but if you like Yokohama, I feel like you would like that because you are gathering things and shipping them.
But this is a very clean, very straightforward, very like with both of his games, even Captains of the Gulf. They're both very. This is what you need to be doing.
It is pick up and deliver
And strangely enough,
on a rondelle.
I don't
Okay.
like that. But these are one of the few. This is what gets me when there's an
wait.
exception.
Is this like every
Oh,
episode?
Oh, yes.
No,
I don't
no.
like this mechanism,
No,
but
I don't
I like
it's-
it.
I like.
It's been it's so cliche.
It's
at
not
this point.
cliche. Let me tell you. First
No,
off,
you literally.
I
no,
mean, and you said it twice so far today.
Thank you. He
because
literally claims.
he said, I don't like the rolling the dice
he
and
think
the
he-
luck, but
he-
in this game,
he does it because he feels like it'll carry more weight.
No,
like,
it
I
doesn't.
don't like
No,
this.
no.
But I do like
okay.
this.
Now let me
version of it.
let me explain something
Because
to you.
literally
No, let
everybody
me
in the
explain
Facebook
something
group
to you.
will say, Jerry, it's not just me. Deal with the Facebook group. They're like, Jerry says he doesn't like all these mechanisms,
Hey,
but then proceeds to like all these
go
mechanisms.
get my mezcal from the closet.
There we go.
Oh.
Well, let me explain something to you since you
Explain
need
something to me.
need to understand this.
Why just to me? And Chad's saying it too.
Well, Chad.
Why don't you explain it to Chad? I've heard the explanation.
That's a great idea because you
Thank
won't
you.
listen. I'll
Thank
talk
you.
to Chad.
Thank you.
So why don't you just sit there?
You've been talking plenty. Trust me.
So here's the
Here
thing.
we go.
So a lot of people, they play a bunch of games and all love them, whatever. I like to look for things that are exceptions. We don't. That's the mezcal. Thank you, sir. Do you know how to open it?
Jerry had that hidden in the toilet.
I did. That's some of
It was in the
that.
toilet bowl.
That's some of that good
the
toilet
toilet tank.
mezcal.
it could be extra smoky, huh?
Yeah. So people who, if you don't like something, right? So say you don't like
But
area
there's
control.
nothing wrong with liking something.
I'm talking to Chad.
Do you
Excuse me.
have a? No, I'm seriously asking you right now in this moment.
You
because of
are
my thing.
seriously asking.
Do you have a? Of all the worker placement,
Yes.
dice
Yes.
placement,
Yes.
what do you like besides negotiation and bidding?
So, for instance, when I say I don't like something, I mean the majority of the games that I have played of that mechanic, I don't like them. For instance, the things that I say that I do enjoy, the vast majority of these games that I play, I like them. So, for instance, you say you like rondelles. You rondelles.
That's my boy.
That's your boy. Can you think of one rondelle you don't like?
Shipyard was
Great Western Trail, huh?
Great Western Trail was pretty terrible. Hey, take it up with a Facebook group.
Yo,
If I could just gather the hundreds and thousands that agree with me,
The hundreds of
in
thousands.
opposition to
Listen,
Jared.
but it doesn't matter. The facts are right on your side. The numbers don't matter. But let me explain. I play games
Go ahead.
looking for the exception. So I talk about the exception rather than the rule. Why would I talk about the rule when that's what every podcast, YouTube, that's what they
But
all
it doesn't
do?
serve you any to say I don't like it, because it's not that you don't like it. You're looking for something. I think you need to rephrase it to say it's not that I don't like this style of game. I'm looking for the exceptional game in this genre.
Okay, so let me say something though. If you don't like something, let me say that. Let's say I'll use this example. I don't really like beer, IPAs. I'll be more
There you
specific.
go.
I don't
Okay.
like IPAs.
You don't like IPAs.
But I can name 2 off the top of my head that I like.
Right.
That's out of maybe 100 different times at once.
I know where you're going with
So-
this, and you say this, and there's so many games you've said I don't like rondelles, but I like this game, this
And
game,
here's-
this game, this game, this game, this
No,
game,
no, no,
this
no,
game,
no, no,
this
no.
game, this game, this game.
No.
I don't like dice placement, but I like this game, this
Listen,
game, this game,
listen.
this game, this game. These are
Listen.
all exceptions.
No, they're not. Here's
No,
here's what I can do for you. Here's what I'll do for you. Name a mechanism. Name a mechanism that I don't like, but I like.
dice placement is the first one I remember you really taking this stance on.
Alien Frontiers, don't like it. Don't like Santa Maria.
I will take umbrage with Alien Frontiers. When we first played it, you said
When I
This-
was first getting back into board gaming, yes, you can hold me accountable for that.
Okay,
But
okay.
after doing it, after playing it more than once, did not like it. And I believe somebody sold it.
I did because
You didn't like it
It's
anymore.
not a solo.
There you go.
So,
So
Jared's
anyways,
not going to play it with me.
to my
Who's-
point, those are 2 right off the top of my head. How many other dice placements have we played? And
Let
I go,
me
I don't
just-
like it. I
let
don't
me-
like it.
I've got board game stats right
But
here.
I guarantee
I can look
you.
it up.
But listen, I guarantee you, and I'm talking to Chad. Why am I not talking to you? My point is, and Chad, what Gabi doesn't realize, the majority of that mechanism I do not like. I thus have the right to say, if 90% I don't like and 10% I do like,
No.
I don't like that mechanism.
Here's the thing, though. It's not that you don't like the mechanism. You like the mechanism when it's implemented well. That's not liking the mechanism.
So, okay, so let me.
Hold on, Chad.
I got to agree with this one.
Okay, so let me
I
let me explain.
Because,
let me
Chad's
because
our guest speaker.
because if you don't like IPAs, but you like those 2,
okay,
it's because they did it well,
okay,
right?
I understand that. Yes.
So you don't like IPAs that aren't done well.
Okay. So what you're saying is, let me make sure I'm clear on this. The average IPA I do not like.
Mhm.
I like the exceptional ones.
Yeah.
But
The
what does that mean?
exception?
No. No, you're twisting words.
No, that's exactly what it means.
Stop hollering. You don't
It's
have to holler.
exactly what it means. You're wrong.
But you like IPAs because
No.
you like this one and you like this one.
No, I don't. I like the exceptional ones.
Well, that's a stupid stance to take, but who's going to say I don't like that?
All right. Do you like Fords?
You don't like how this IPA was made.
Do you like Fords?
I don't drive Fords. I don't know.
So you don't
I
like
have a
them?
Ford.
I-
those are
I-
you just put words in my mouth.
I'm just asking.
that I've never said.
I'm not talking to you because you're getting defensive because you want to
No,
answer
you're the one that
questions.
hollered and
Do
raised
you
your
like
voice.
Fords?
I do not like Fords.
You like Ford Mustangs?
Yes.
Do
Why?
you like? So you like Fords?
No.
See.
But why does he love the Ford Mustangs though?
Exactly.
No. When you're talking
because they
about,
did something right.
They did
Precise-
something right.
When you're talking about a mechanism, though, a mechanism on board game, and your exceptions have went far beyond, especially with dice placement or rondelles. It's went far beyond one or two.
I'm not
like several, and you can only say that because you haven't played them all.
Wash it out and bring it back.
Now, sure, there's a lot you don't like, just like I don't like them. But I don't just blanket statement say I hate rondelles because I love Crescent City Cargo. It's a rondelle upon a rondelle upon a rondelle.
I know, I understand that.
And there's a lots of rondelles.
You're a sucker for a rondelle.
Hong Kong, Blackout Hong Kong.
Love it.
That's a rondelle.
Excellent. It's probably the best rondelle.
I can go through the board game stats and name you all the rondelles we play that we like.
Right.
That means I can't say I hate rondelles.
Okay.
Otherwise, I wouldn't.
I don't
play
know
them.
why you're making an argument I'm not making. You're fighting against something I'm not saying.
No, you're the one saying it wrong because I've said it for you. You don't like the way the game has been implemented.
No. So
the mechanism has been implemented poorly for you.
No.
You like the mechanism. You don't like this implementation.
So let me use y'all's reasoning. Since we're going to see.
Jerry, here.
No, it's your line of reasoning. So just answer me. Stop interrupting me because I'm talking in Chad.
Don't tell me to stop
I'm talking to
interrupting
Chad.
you.
So I'm going to use your line of reasoning. So, do you like deck builders?
Yes.
Have you ever been wrong about anything? in
I'm
your life?
talking
That's
to
the
Chad.
question I'd
Listen,
like to
hey,
ask.
stop interrupting.
I'll
Have you
let
ever
Jennifer.
let me finish conversation?
Jennifer,
I'm talking to Chad.
has Jerry
please.
ever been wrong about anything?
What's the mechanism you don't like?
For a deck builder?
Not talking to you.
Huh?
See, you've trained him to even interrupt. What mechanism, Chad, do you not like? Chad likes it all.
I kind of like it all.
So, Enrique,
It's like asking me what food you don't like. I mean,
Bidding.
it's,
Bidding.
See, here's the thing.
okay, bidding.
I can't name you a mechanism I don't like. I can name you maybe a game I don't like the mechanism in.
Okay, so that's the point. So it's easy to say that you all like all mechanisms because you've played a game, at least one, that has a mechanism that you enjoy. That has a mechanism, a vast majority.
You can take this stance all day long.
No,
You're going to be wrong.
answer my question.
We just did.
You did not. Do you?
Yes, we did.
So you like all mechanisms.
Sure.
So
If it's done good, yes.
No. You like all mechanisms as long as they're done quote unquote good.
I would say that's not true for me.
Okay.
I just can't think of a
Can't
mechanism.
think of it.
Yeah.
Okay. I can't think.
But just in general. You don't have to go down name them. In general.
Yeah.
So here's my question.
I have the potential to like it.
Okay. As does everybody.
Yeah.
Here's my question. If you have a mechanism and there's been let's just do 100 games that have had this mechanism and 99 of them you don't like, but one you do you like that mechanism?
I guarantee you. Here's your problem.
No, it's answer yes or
no.
Jack, just answer the question.
I guarantee.
You just have to answer the question. Just answer the question. There's one that
But
you
that's
like.
a flawed statement.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
Why is it flawed?
Because you haven't played them all.
No. I'm saying in theory, 100 games, you've played them all.
I have not played 100 games in which one of them I like the mechanism.
Chad, listen, do you understand? He doesn't get theory.
Yes.
So 100 games,
we're going theory.
99, you like one.
I would have to say with those numbers, that means that mechanism is not a good mechanism. But someone figured out how to use it correctly.
Correct. So my point being is that if you run the numbers of these games that have these various mechanisms, for instance, negotiation, there's rarely a negotiation game I do not like. Mm-hmm. That is a game. So thus, when it's above a certain percentile, I love, you say negotiating, I love it.
That would be like saying, there's rarely a Toyota I don't like, so I like Toyotas.
There you go.
Does that mean you like every Toyota?
No. So it's not a blanket statement. So when I say,
Covey's looking at me like I stabbed him in the back.
I know. No. It's because
this is a thing of Jerry.
It's refreshing that you have nuance.
No. It's a thing of Jerry. Is he will look? All his reasoning is flawed in that he looks for the twisted version, the niche. Like he likes to make this all about this one thing.
Good. That's good. What is that? Mescal?
Oh wait. Which is better.
There you
go. I like mezcal. No, it's just it's the nuance of it that Chad. I'm talking to Chad. He's understanding it here. So you have a certain percentile. So I love negotiation. I love bidding games, and I will use an example of a bidding game I do not really like at all, which is the estates. It was one that was everybody loved it when it first came out. Shut up and sit down. I didn't like it, but I love most bidding games. I am there. I'm all about it. We played another bidding game the other day. New York. Didn't really like it.
Last night was terrible.
So that does not mean that I don't like bidding. It's that 80% of them I like. There are exceptions of ones I don't like. But so I like bidding. But when you get to other games where the vast majority of that mechanism I simply don't like.
Well, here's my issue with you specifically. In our gaming time together, in which you have just come out and said, I don't like dice placement. We've had repeated, I guarantee you, guarantee, if I was to go to my BG stats and look at the dice placement games we've had, in which you could say it's an aspect of the game, you're going to have liked at least way more than one out of 100.
So number one, that dice placement thing may be true with dice placement. It may simply be that at the beginning I didn't like dice placement because wasn't a lot that I liked. Over the years, what has happened? The mechanism has quit being used as the exception.
I know, but you
repeatedly
say that about so many.
I know, but here's
mechanisms.
Okay, and so
it's almost like it's your character. At
it's
this
not.
point.
No,
I'm the guy that doesn't like the mechanism.
No.
But I like this mechanism in this guy.
No, here's the understanding though. They have gotten better. They're making better games. They're getting to where they're able to make things that are quality games now. And so there have been better and better dice play.
But that's since we've started playing together. So all I know of you is, here's an interesting thing.
Here's an interesting thing, Chad.
No, seriously. You may have played 500 games.
Right.
Let's say you played those first 250 games with Bob Smith.
Okay, I love Bob.
And all those games sucked.
Right.
Of dice placement.
Okay, gotcha.
You've played the next 250 with me.
Right.
Gavi Moraga.
Yeah.
In which you loved those games.
Right. I'm 50-50.
All I know is Jerry likes dice placement.
Right.
Which one's the case?
Well, it's 50-50.
So which is it?
Whether I like it or don't, it's right in the middle. But let's just take your.
I think you don't want to play games with Bob Smith.
I know. Well, let's just take your.
What's your deal with Bob?
What you're trying to say is, since the games I have played,
perspective. From my perspective,
okay, your subjective perspective that the games that we play that are dice placement, I like. Right. I'm not arguing with you with dice placement because it's true. We have played a lot of good dice placements. They have gotten better and better and better. And that's just become almost a running gag where I'm like, I don't like dice placement because there's been this run where we've just had a lot of good dice placement games. So really, it's pushing me to the fact that we're weeding out. So you know what's happening? My mind that's not really my mind. It's just statistically. It's getting to where I like dice placement because they're just simply more, they're just better. They're just better dice placements. But my point, the overall point I was trying to make is, the reason you hear me talk about games that are the exception is because I purposely buy stuff or look for stuff and try to find the exception, and I'm not talking about the rule. So,
well, I do appreciate that. I mean,
you can turn your mic, that mic on and repeat the part where you said I am right and you appreciate me.
I never said that,
but you knew I was right.
I said I appreciate that rule of trying to find the exception.
Right. Thank you. Which means you appreciate me. That's really good mezcal.
But I'm fixing to taste it.
That's good.
Tried that. It is good.
Oh my god, it's so smooth.
Wow.
That's expensive stuff too, but that's good.
How much was that?
It's like $50.
Was it really?
I bought it for Chad for a drink. How
much was it?
It was. I bought good stuff.
That is really Las Tonas Mezcal Artisanal.
When we're having guests, I like to have nice stuff.
Oaxaca. That's where you know it's good.
Oh, where's Oaxaca? We played that game. We didn't like it, did we?
Enrique, how would you say this right here? I've already given it away.
He didn't listen.
If you were to look at it, what would you say that is? The OAX.
Oh. Smoky.
How would you pronounce that?
Woo! Smoky.
Huh? Oroxa. That's what
Oroxa.
Enrique said. The Mexican of our group said that was made in Oroxa.
He's from Texas.
No, Oklahoma. I was born in Texas.
You're an Okie.
Right.
So you Tex-Mex?
More or less.
So my point being is that my tastes have changed. So I don't just stand by the fact that I don't like something. So like dice placement's becoming a thing. And so it is true that a lot of times I'll say, I don't like this mechanism, but this is the exception, blah, 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 blah.
No.
It is because I'm not talking about the games that I hate. I'm not going down the 15 that I didn't like and the one that I like.
Of all the people that have been talking this podcast, that has convinced me it's myself.
I'm glad you. Well,
In that,
I'm glad we can help you.
I came upon a good point in my speaking. In that, in my perspective,
Yeah.
you like dice. You like most genres
Well,
that we play because we try to be
right.
very picky in the games we choose.
A good example is that Lacrimosa, which we can talk about on another podcast.
Yes, we will.
Which is a game that I said Lacrimosa.
And here's the thing. I was about to play that game until Gabi
He influenced
texted
you.
me,
He
hey, you
influenced
want to join us with the
influencer.
podcast? So you saved me. I had no idea that you were saving me.
It's now. Here's the thing.
I-
I would be interested in you playing it.
I was going to say I would be interested in just finishing it out.
But here's what got me about it. And one,
We need to do another podcast.
we'll have to
for
do
it.
another podcast for it because, but
But we didn't like it.
but it was a game that those mechanisms are things that we like. If you were to describe just the mechanisms and this and this, yes, I'm all about it. But it was the presentation
They
of
were
it.
implemented poorly.
It was implemented very poorly. The mechanisms overall. Now, does that mean I don't like da-da-da? No.
correct.
That card type game that's kind of like Mombasa or that very Euro style of, all right,
Even though they don't move up, that was the Mombasa thing. Is you move them up. Remember
move what up?
the cards? You play them down here, and then you can move them up there. or
it's,
up top down
it's,
there.
it's more like that other one. Was that Newton?
Yeah,
type
Newton.
thing. There you
It did
go.
give me Newton vibes.
Newton,
yes.
big Newtons.
It was giving Newton, as I'm understanding the kids say these days. They don't say the vibes part. They just say, instead of me saying it giving me Newton vibes, I just say it was giving me Newton.
You don't say vibes anymore?
You don't say vibes
Do you say
anymore.
vibes,
Yeah, I
Chad?
say vibes, but I'm not one of the
Giving me
young people. either.
Chad vibes.
I have a Gen Xer that I associate pretty regularly with. And she lets me know what's cool and what's not.
Yeah.
That's good that you're that hip.
All right, well, we're coming in on an hour, Chad.
Whoa.
We didn't even get Chad. Wow.
We're going to come back
Or
next week.
Next week. I'll
Next
be back
week.
next week.
And
And
we're going to discuss
Yeah.
Moonrakers and
Oh, right.
Lacrimosa.
Enrique,
let me check the flights
get
and
ready,
see
to,
if I can.
get ready to sign us
Check
off.
your flights. Chad will be back with us next week as we discuss Moonrakers. Until then, I'm Gabi.
This is Jerry.
This is Chad.
This is
Thank you for tolerating this episode of the Board Game Snobs. Stay classy.
Thank you.